Okay, we're live. Good. I think I need to adjust the camera. It'll be okay. Yeah, looks okay. Would you believe that webcam I'm using is between 10 and 15 years old? And that it's a Logitech. I've used it on so many computers, and yet it works beautifully on Windows 10. You know, that really blows me away. But yeah, quite a few people have asked me, can a graveyard or a cemetery, can it actually be haunted? Well, some people would say yes, some people would say no. But theoretically, it's hard. It's very hard to tell. I would say yes, but it's very, very rare. And that, it would depend on the age of the cemetery, where it's located, the history. Depends on a lot of things. And that, like, as I stated in my live stream on Wednesday, that I've come across some very old cemeteries, in my research, and the youngest one that I know of is about a century old. Okay, but others that I've researched, some actually date back to I think it's 7,000 or 8,000 BC. So it kind of gives you an idea how old it is. Now, there's some really old ones in Jordan, which I guess is in Israel. There's some really old ones in Germany. There's some really old ones. Valley of the Kings in Egypt. That's a graveyard. But yeah, a lot of people ask me, like, can locations like that actually be haunted? Well, the word haunted is basically a general term anyway, but it can either be an intelligent haunt or it could be a residual haunt. Okay, well, I think a lot of them are, because of the history of the location, a lot of them can be residual. In other words, there's no interaction, it's just witness, apparitions. You might hear something, but it's just an echo of the past. And that, but when it comes to actual, spirit people, well, the only locations that I know of that have actually had sightings is a few places over in the UK, and that, especially when it comes to locations where the church and the graveyard are on the same property. Okay, and some of these graveyards, or some of these locations, I should say, go back to the mid 1700s or early 1700s, and that, or maybe it's a little bit later. And like some of these locations have had multiple purposes as well. Like like some locations that I've seen, they've had vicars, they've had fathers, they've had monks, and that wandering around. And sometimes I wonder, why are they still there? Why are they just wandering around aimlessly almost? Well, they're not really wandering around aimlessly. They're watching over their property that they cared for so much. I just move it over just a wee bit there. And like I stated in my last stream, that like, I'll give you one example. Okay, there was a few places over in UK where I saw some hood figures. I guess they were monks and that, and I think they were just looking around because I think there could have been a monastery nearby, like really in the area. But just walking around, just checking out the building, And it doesn't necessarily mean that the building belongs to them. It's just they're very curious about the building and that. And also, and I think they're also drawn, it's like one holy man being drawn to another holy man kind of idea. And of course, you got either the vicar or the father watching over his spiritual flock, watching over his building. And also, it's also been known that, especially when it comes to a brand new cemetery that just is brand new, there's no one buried there yet, the first interment has always been known to be, okay, the first person to be buried in a new cemetery, okay, is automatically designated as the graveyard guardian, okay? And that graveyard guardian basically just watches over the property, and as more people are interred, they watch over that, because they kind of spiritually protect the people that are interred there, okay? That's where you get graveyard guardians, and some of these graveyard guardians, you know, some of them can be quiet, some of them can be, you know, I wouldn't say the word aggressive, but they're protective, okay? Just like the father or the vicar is protective over the church. And even in death, they still have that responsibility to their flock or to the people that are under them. And that. So when it comes to the cemeteries over in the UK, I say if there's any haunting at all, okay, it's basically those people around the church, you know, because they dedicated their lives to the service of the church and also protect the graveyard. But at the same time, especially if there was a war nearby or during wartime, okay, and some of those soldiers are buried in that same cemetery or a cemetery next to it, okay, and basically it doesn't mean that they're haunting because they want to stay next to the remains. No. And that basically what it is, let's say you got two comrades, they're both killed in the war, they're both buried in the same cemetery. All they're doing basically is they're basically looking for each other. Okay, a couple of comrades are looking for each other. That's basically all it really is. And or what it could be is, let's say a mother is interred in the same cemetery as her baby. Okay, well, their mother is looking for her baby. So basically, it could be an actual intelligent haunt, but they're more preoccupied looking for someone. Okay, and so can a graveyard be haunted? Yes, but like I said, it's very, very rare for it to be, you know, haunted, and that regardless of how old it is. Okay, it's basically what the people are. You know, if the people do come back, there's got to be a reason. Okay, they're looking for something, someone. You know, they're longing to see someone. They're longing to meet up with someone. That's basically all it is. It's just that they miss the companionship of their mates, their spouses, whatever. Okay, and once the two join up, that's when they cross over. Okay, because they you know, like husband and wife, two airmen, a couple of comrades, a mother and a child, whatever, and that. And now over in Canada here, especially in Niagara Falls, Ontario, and that there's one cemetery that is, I would say, it's very active, and it's not residual. It's an intelligent haunt. But that's basically what it is on Lundy's Lane. Okay, the cemetery on Lundy's Lane. Okay, there's been soldiers walking. Yep. Yeah, I've come across that too, Tinker, and that's so beautiful when you see a mother and a child being reunited. You know, because even I've helped either a mother be reunited with a child, or shown a child, or I've guided a child to be reunited with the mother, and that's a beautiful feeling, isn't it? I love it, and that. But what was it? Yeah, it was amazing. Oh yeah, it was so gratifying. It felt beautiful, you know, because it was so painful for the two to be parted, but now they're back together again. Hey, they have no reason to stay down here, and that. But yeah, when it comes to Lundy's Lane, and that they've actually seen soldiers that were part of the War of 1812. Okay, they've actually seen soldiers either walk or run through the cemetery with their rifles and bayonets, and that running through. Okay, well, it's hard to say whether or not these soldiers can actually see the cemetery or not, but they're so engrossed in being still in battle. That's all they got in their mind, was to defend their men, to win the war. That's the only mindset they have, and to follow the orders of the commander. So you got these soldiers walking or running through, and some people have actually seen their outlines or whatever and that. And at first I thought that could have been just residual, but I thought, I don't think so, because some people actually got EVPs of a man yelling or something, which I think is pretty amazing in that. And what else? My coffee. Then there's another cemetery in Burlington, Ontario. Now, this is going back years ago, that I was actually part of a group back then. That I was part of we were going through this churchyard, and there's a small chapel there, and during wartime. Now this is when the Indians were battling. I don't know, it was British people or who it was. It was the Indians versus somebody, and then they're battling it out, and many Indians lost their life in that area, and I actually felt I shouldn't say I felt. I heard the Indians yell out a war cry, say, "Okay, we're under attack," and for some reason, one Indian actually thought that I was the enemy, and I got a stabbing pain in my, I think it was my side, and I actually saw this. There was a soldier with a bayonet. I actually got, by a spirit soldier, I actually got bayoneted in the side, and I asked my guide what's going on, and he told me that soldier thought that I looked like one of the Indian people. He goes, there's another Indian, bayonet him. And so apparently I look like one of the Indian people or something, but I actually had a mark on my side, and it was like that for a few days. And I actually felt like it was actually a kind of it was like a sting, but I felt the pressure, and I thought that was so weird, but so to me, that's not residual. Okay, that's like intelligent haunt, but I think some of it was residual and some of it was intelligent, but it's hard to say which it was now. All I know is it startled me, but you see, it could, when I come to think of it, could have been, residual but if it had been residual, it wouldn't have affected me. So I think it was intelligent. It was actually a spirit person, a spirit soldier that did that, and I thought that was kind of interesting in that. So, but anyway, now when it comes to other cemeteries that I've researched, like another one is, like everybody knows of it, is the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. Okay, that's a very famous graveyard of all the pharaohs and all the kings, high priests, and stuff like that. Well, there's actually been sightings of one pharaoh, Akhenaten, wandering around, because he's the pharaoh that abolished all the traditional gods, and he came up with his own god, the Aten, instead of Amun-Ra. I think it was Amun-Ra. That in death, he was cursed to wander the desert forever as punishment, while his ghost has been seen walking around, wandering around, along with the ghost of Howard Carter, the guy that discovered King Tut. He's been seen walking around, the area where he worked. So now that I would definitely say is intelligent, because I think people have actually had interaction with him, like they tried to get EVPs and stuff like that with those with Carter, with the barrel. That, but anyway, so long story short, our graveyard's haunted. Yes, but extremely rare. And that, but if we ever did come across a haunted graveyard, that'd be amazing to get photos, EVPs, videos. That would be absolutely amazing. I love seeing stuff like that. And if a medium is a part of the group and they can actually channel those spirit people, God, that's even better. And of course, Derek, he's done that quite a few times. You know, been out to a location, whether it's the ruins or remains of a church or whatever, or they've actually been out to a whole church that I don't know if it's still in use or not, but he's channeled people there and that. And so I'd say that if a medium can channel a spirit at a location, then yes, it's definitely an intelligent haunt. If you find a cemetery that's like that, man, that's the holy grail. Well, I did at a cemetery. I heard child for his dad. Yeah, I think I remember that. That was really cool. I love that. And that's so. But anyway, people, Beth and I are going over to Home Depot. We gotta get some building stuff. We have to put up the shelf. So I'm gonna cut the stream. Tinker, thank you for joining me and sharing your experiences. That is amazing. I really love you for that. And like I said, very going. So what I'll do is in the link in the description below, what I'll do is I'll put a link to that video that I did, the live stream I did on Wednesday. I'll put that in. And yeah, God bless you too, Tinker. And love and light. And so the group, all the groups that I'm part of, and that video of last Wednesday's stream, all this stuff will be in the description below. And if you're new here and you like listening to my videos, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out big time. Helps me to then make the channel really grow, and that because I really adore doing this. So anyway, gotta go. So love and light to everybody. Hey, so God bless. Boom. Bang.